President William Ruto on Wednesday received a standing ovation during his address at the Pan-African Parliament Summit on Climate Policy and Equity in South Africa. In a more than 1 hour speech, Ruto wondered why Western nations would invite African leaders to their countries in order to discuss the continent's problems. He noted that the West had mistreated African leaders who were taken for granted, yet the continent was a great contributor to the global economy and solutions. William Juma brings us that story.
President William Ruto has said that African heads of state are most of the time not given a platform to explain their issues in depth. Speaking during the Pan-African Parliament Summit on Climate Policy and Equity in South Africa, Ruto said the leaders are only allocated 1.5 minutes.
So we go to a meeting, just explain to me what kind of outcome you expect where 50 heads of state are sitting. Everybody is asked for speak to 1.5 minutes. You speak to one for 1.5 minutes. What kind of engagement are you going to get? You're going to get nothing.
Speaking during the Pan-African Parliament Summit on Climate Policy and Equity in South Africa, Ruto said the leaders are only allocated 1.5 minutes to contribute, which shouldn't be the case.
Precisely. You get these photographs, they normally line us up somewhere, crowd of 50 heads of state. And that's all we come home with, because there isn't time to engage any serious country that wants to engage with Africa.
The head of state said African leaders want to be effective during the summits, urging the invitees to take the leaders seriously in having meaningful discussions.
Must respect first our architecture. If we have said we are going to be represented by the Troika, why are you inviting 50 people unless you want to sabotage the whole discussion? And if you can't respect our own rules, it is a sign of lack of goodwill. I mean, you must, so that when we engage, if we have a smaller group of 5 people, then you can have a meaningful conversation. And we can have a meeting of equals.
Ruto said the leaders have agreed that they will in future be represented as one tribe by the African Union.
We have made a decision, very respectfully as heads of state in Africa, that any engagement with other partners must be an engagement of equals. And for it to be meaningful, if we are going to meet the president of a country, we have organized ourselves that the Troika is going to represent Africa. The chair, the current chair, the past chair, the chair that is coming, and the heads of our...
He also urged the members of Pan-African Parliament to operate at the same level as the European Parliament.
We just must be honest to ourselves. The globe is acting in concert. We cannot afford not to act together.
Ruto said this will allow the Pan-African Union to operate at the same levels as the European Union.
Organization to hold the African Union to account is this parliament.
The president had in April laid out some of the challenges African presidents go through during foreign trips abroad. Ruto expressed his displeasure about the treatment of African heads, saying they are sometimes mistreated.
Must respect first our architecture. If we have said we are going to be represented by the Troika, why are you inviting 50 people unless you want to sabotage the whole discussion because of blackmail? This is not right, good people. This is not okay.
For Maisha Prime, Maisha Television, my name is William Juma.